In this video, I'm going to explain some common flying machines, and I hope it gives you some idea of how Slimestone works. Let's start with the basics of pistons. This is a normal piston and a sticky piston. A normal piston will push blocks, but it won't pull them. A sticky piston will push blocks, but it will pull them back. An observer is a block that detects updates. So as you can see, this one powers, and it can power a component, but it also powers when it gets moved. This is slime and honey. Slime is a solid block, honey is a transparent block. They let you stick things together, like this, but they don't stick to one another. This is glazed terracotta. Glazed terracotta is a slippery block, but it's also movable. And then most importantly, pistons can only push 12 blocks. So that pushes 12 blocks fine, but it cannot push 13. And then obsidian is what I use to stop pistons. There's other immovable blocks. Now onto flying machines. If we want to make something fly, first we can push it, and then we pull it back, and then it moves one block, and then we can repeat that process. But to do it automatically, since observers detect when they're pushed, you can add observers, and then when you power an observer, it will move. This is a push and pull flying machine, but there's also just pull flying machines. So for this one, we pull that block back, then we pull the whole thing back. And if we do that, it will move that way. We can also add observers to do it automatically. And there it goes. There's also just push flying machines. For this one, we push this, and then push this whole row. And then we can do that again. And the reason there's 3 pistons is because if there were just 2, it would push this piston before it retracts fully, so it will get left behind and it just won't move. For this one, we can also add observers, and it will also move. These two are the same speed, but this one over here is a little bit faster. If we want to attach things to our engines, we can either push or pull. To pull, when a piston connected to the engine will pull, then we just need each piston in the line to also pull. For this, the best way to do it is observers. Now when we pull, each one will. To push, there's 2 good ways to do it. You can use observers, like this, or you could use redstone blocks like this to bud power the pistons. This one is faster, so we can use it to make an even faster engine. And we can also use it to make an even faster engine. So we can use a 0 tick with pistons like this, and then we can have a redstone block there, and then a redstone block there, and then a block here, like this, and then we need to update this piston, and that is much, much faster. Next up, we have multiple modules. If we want to pull multiple modules, you'll see that just a piston like that won't pull everything. So one thing you can do is use two pistons like this. And then you can change one side to honey. This will basically half the push limit, or in this case, pull limit of the pistons. So now, that one can pull, and that one can pull. So let's try that. And that looks like it's working. Another thing we can do is pull it forward like this, and then we can add an extra module in the middle, and then pistons like this. Then it will pull this, and then this will pull these two, and then that will pull all four, and that should work. Like that. And you can see that that also works. And then these two also work with push flying machines, like this. And then this one will also work. Another thing flying machines are useful for is piston doors. We can use these vertical flying machines, alternating slime and honey to make sure they don't stick, and then having immovable blocks to stop them, and then we can restart them by activating the observers. This is one slice of a door. This is the simple engine with a row of slime blocks and a row of normal blocks. We activate that observer there to make it go up. The only issue with this one is if we want to make it go back down, we have to activate this observer, and that's pretty hard to do because there's 3 blocks here, and we would have to expand it and do it with other slices. So we would have to power that. A good way of preventing that gap is to add a piston like this, and then the engine all at the bottom. So to make this one go up, first we need to activate that piston so that this one can power, and then when we power this one, it should go up. And then I have this immovable block here to stop the engine, and then to make it go back down, we can activate this, and then that will go back down. This next one is probably a better one because this one here doesn't work with honey. If you have this observer here, that won't be able to power that piston because honey is a transparent block and slime is a solid block. So this one works better because it can directly power this piston, and then if this is honey, it can still bud power this piston. So to make this one go up, we power that piston, and then here we activate that observer and it will go up, and then to make it go back down, we activate this one, And so this is all hooked up. Here we have a lever, and then that will activate the redstone dust when that observer is up here. And then it will also push these pistons out and activate these observers. And then after it does that, this piston will activate this, and then it will activate the bottom thing to start everything, and it will go up. If we want to make a bigger piston door, we can use multiple of these. So this is one from the bottom. We have this engine, this piston, and then this piston here. For this one, it does not work with honey because honey is transparent. If we tried to move the observer up, it wouldn't work on the way down because we would need an extra slime block. And so a better way to do it is from the top. This way we can have the observer here, and if this is transparent, it can still bud power the piston below. For this one, if we're making it go down, we need to activate multiple parts because we can't just activate this flying machine because there's too many blocks here. So first we have to activate this piston, push it down, then we have to activate this piston, and then that will activate this one again, and then we can activate the flying machine to make it go down. To bring it back up, all we have to do is activate this one, and it will go up. So this right here is all that into a door. If you don't like these observers here, you can move them to the other side like this, but then you would have to move this piston up and then have 12 blocks on the bottom, and you might have to make an extra one since this is 11 high. Next, we have stepping flying machines. So this first one will bring this block up, push it to the side, and then push it back down when this piston pushes. So first, this redstone block will move out of the way of this piston, and then when this piston is finished retracting, then this piston will get a block update, and then when it's being powered by this observer, it will push it forward again, and then that will push this piston forward underneath this redstone block again, and then it will push down like that. So here we can easily hook this up to an engine. Like that. And as you can see, it will step. This is also something nice for stepping flying machines. So for this one, these redstone blocks are all currently powering these pistons. So when they get a block update, like if I give this one a block update, these three will get pulled forward by the slime blocks. And then one of those three will update. It will be this one because it's farther away. So this one will update next, and then this one will update next, and then this one will update. So then it will push it all the way out like that. And then you can hook this up to an engine, and then once all four pistons are in front of these four slime blocks and under the redstone blocks, it will push 4 blocks forward again. So we can use this to make stepping flying machines. So here is a simple engine, but with a piston on top like this. So when I power this piston here, the engine will go this way, but then when that piston is under this redstone block, it will get powered and then push this part of it down. So now this part is down, and then this piston can't push anything because there's nothing there because it got moved down. When it gets moved back up, this observer will activate, and then the flying machine will keep going. So here we have two of those same flying machines, one with slime and one with honey, and then attached to these legs. So this should step. So I'll update that piston and that piston. And then those are being powered by the redstone blocks now. When this will push all the way 4 blocks in front, then these flying machines underneath will start going and then stop when they get there. This engine over here is a slower engine. So then the leg, when it's moving, it will move faster than this engine. And you can see that it does step every 4 blocks. You can also use that piston and redstone block thing without using redstone blocks. So this over here is that. So you'll see it will push 2 forward every other push. So when this piston gets powered by this observer, it will push out, and then these 2 slime blocks will be right here, and it will pull along the piston, and then that observer will activate and then push the piston. And I use that right here to make this. So when this gets pushed forward, these pistons will push it 2 blocks forward, and then this redstone block will activate this piston to push it down, and then this will push down and up this redstone block to power that piston. So I'll do that all in slow motion. And you'll see it goes 2 blocks forward and 2 blocks down. And then if we push it again, everything will move out of the way, and then that piston will go up, and then that piston will go up and move the leg 2 blocks up. And this piston didn't have anything to push because it's that same thing over there. So now we can hook this up to a longer flying machine and then push it forward, and it will step every 2 blocks. So for that, we have that observer there that can power the piston, then that can power this, and then we can have a piston like this, and then that should all work. So it seems like we're above the piston push limit with this one. So to fix that, we can just move the engine back and then do it separately. So then this piston should be able to push it all, and this did not fire yet. Yeah, okay. So that should be able to work, and then this redstone block should be up there. And let's try that. And I forgot this. And you'll see it steps every 2 blocks, and then the leg will go up by 2 blocks. Lastly, we have diagonal flying machines and 4-way flying machines. The first place I saw this one was a video by Sam and Rad. So if I flick this lever, these slime blocks will pull this piston, and this piston. And then this observer will power this piston, and this observer will power this piston. This piston won't have anything to pull, so nothing will happen with that one. And then this piston will pull these slime blocks back. And then after that happens, these 2 slime blocks and the observers attached to them will update. And so, since this observer is farther away from this piston, and this piston is farther away from this one will update next. And then it will go that direction, then that direction, alternating, so it moves diagonally. And then if it hits an immovable wall, it will just go right past it, like that. And then this one will also work backwards. This next one goes that direction and does not go backward. And this one was made by me. If I retract this piston, then this piston will get powered by the redstone block, which pushes it that way. And then this piston will get powered by this observer. And then this piston will get powered by this redstone block. And then all that will happen again. This one is a vertical diagonal flying machine that I also made. It works the exact same way as that one. When I pull this piston, this will go up, get powered by the redstone block. Then this observer will activate this piston, pulling this way, and then this piston will get activated by this redstone block. And then these two are faster than that one. Next we have this vertical diagonal flying machine by Ilmango. This one works the same way as this one. It will use update order to tell which piston will go. And that means it also goes backwards. This one is a 4-way flying machine. This was made by Dylan D. So it can go in all 4 directions. And then lastly, we have this four-way flying machine by Il Mango. So this one is pretty hard to stop because if you do that, it will go that direction, and if you do this, it will go that direction. So you have to stop it in both directions, like that. So I hope you enjoyed learning about Slimestone and flying machines. So I will definitely do more flying machine and Slimestone in the future.